I'm giving somebody the blues today.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of drama. You know, the Moonsault Slayer, that guy's always in some drama. If there's one thing you know about the world and the universe, it's the Moonsault Slayer is in some drama. Okay, look, let me be serious. There's a couple of things going on around the player base right now. You know, there's some good things. We're waiting for Armor King. He's going to be out by the time you see this video, 1 day, maybe 2 days. Marizu trailer is going to drop. Evo France is going on. Some people are excited. Some people think it's a snooze. What I do hear is that there's a mixed variety of people showing up. Like there's a lot of new faces there, so that's great. That's what you want at a new Evo, is new faces, new region, new people. That's cool. But you guys know, me and D had a intense rivalry, a beef. The beef started way back when FDX basically called us out for being drama guys, right? And then I did a little bit of reflecting. I was like, actually, FDX is right. Let's try to move away from drama and let's try to focus on just news, things of that sort. And while I do get myself into trouble from time to time, I think I've done a good job at like steering away from some huge drama situations, because I mean, there was some crazy stuff happening. And I was like, by no means am I talking about that. I even seen people on Twitter say, hey, all the Tekken drama guys, don't make a video about this. I was sitting there looking at the tweet. I'm like, bro, why do you think I would make a video about that? But the point is that I'm trying to make is that my beef with D All the Way G goes back very far. And I was thinking about it, right? It's kind of tragic because at one point in time we were cool. At one point in time we referenced each other. Like he would make a joke and then I would make a similar joke and then he would make another joke. But now if you fast forward to what it is now, it's like, how do we fall so far? I do take the blame for it because, like, you know, I threw a lot of stones. I was talking very reckless. I think he has a right to feel the way that he does, but I don't want it to be that way always, you know? I know he feels like when I squashed the beef the first time, he feels like it was fake squash and it wasn't real, but it really wasn't the case. The reason why I got angry again is because I didn't like what he was saying. I didn't like what he was doing. I didn't like the type of videos he were making about me, like calling me clout chaser and stuff. So it festered that negativity again. But I don't know, I don't want to be that guy. I know he made about 3 or 4 videos about me that I didn't really watch the videos, because when I watch the videos, it's just like hit pieces, you know, it's just like framing me in the worst light imaginable, and I can already imagine what he said. It's not that I don't care, it's just that like that's not what's important. What I think is important is how can we move on from this? I have been doing a lot of training since my like incredible defeat. I went up against him in a rematch, 200 bucks. You know, I wanted 1,000. Everyone knows that, right? I wasn't happy with the price drop. I went into it with a loser mentality, driven by hatred, driven by anger, driven by frustration. And then meanwhile, he's getting trained by one of the best Eddie players in NA. And then of course the outcome is the outcome. The Moonsault Slayer is arrogant, toxic, and this guy's really working hard to prove, you know, himself. And that's what he did. And looking at that whole situation, right, the loss, the trash talk that came after, it kind of humbled me, right? When he says, I humbled Moonsault Slayer, I'm like, yeah, he did. And I'm happy for it. It's kind of like I want to tell him thank you, because like with this new perspective that I have, I'm looking at all the videos I was making, all the ways that I was talking, and I was now looking at how trash I am, right? Because I'm good at the game, but I'm not like good at like it's different. Like it's good and then it's like great. Like, of course, I'm like in the top percentage of players online, but when you want to like brag and flex about being good, I'm not that. So it's like it humbled me a little bit, and it made me realize how much training I need to do. And if you guys look at the live streams I've been doing, you know, 9 hours of training, 9 hours of training, 7 hours of training. I did my latest live stream, it was 4 hours of training, but I did some training offline. I can't talk about that. But look, the Moonsault Slayer is gonna be cooking, bro. I want to get realizing how little I knew makes me excited to learn how much I can. So it's like I do appreciate the loss. Sometimes you need it, no matter how brutal it is, because it's an eye-opener, right? It was an eye-opener in how toxic I was becoming, when I thought I was not becoming toxic anymore, but then it was an eye-opener in like where my skill level was at. So both of those things I want to get better, and I'm really not trying to like have beef with D All the Way G. I know he's probably going to continue to be upset and he's probably going to like hate me forever, but I appreciate his honesty, and I also appreciate his tenacity, because he brings the fire, and sometimes you need to get burned in order to, realize. On the topic of whether or not I'll rematch him, I haven't decided yet. I still haven't decided, because I don't want to make that the end goal. I want the end goal to be me, like being a better me, whether that's in Tekken and also like in content. I want to be the best I can be, and that's the end goal. And then whether or not I rematch him, only time will tell, because the original idea was to rematch him by Thursday, and by the time this video go up, it will be Saturday. So that obviously didn't happen, and it's because I was realizing how much I needed to learn and understand. Once again, you talk about changing the way that you think, right? Where I wanted to like try to hurry up and get back in, but now it's like, hold on a second, I'm having fun labbing. Like I switched from analog to D-pad. I'm having a whole lot of misinputs. I am like radically trying to overhaul the way that I play Tekken. Like, I'm really excited. Like, it's crazy. I was dealt one of the heaviest losses ever, and somehow a couple of days later I'm excited and I'm happy. And I think it's all because of like the mental, and how like you gotta change the way that you look at things and the way that you think. Good moment in time. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people were really invested into it. I think our match was probably one of the most viewed matches, like in Tekken 8. Like, a lot of people were watching replays. Like, that was an incredible moment. And for me and him to put that display on two scrub casuals, like, that's fire. So rematch, probably, maybe, but I want to get better first in a lot of ways before I challenge him, and hopefully he does too. When we do, finish the set or whatever, first and 10 set, maybe it will be two different players playing that, and it will be a totally different thing, but who knows? Time will tell. On the other side, you have Mike Hollow and King J. King J uploaded a video where he was basically talking about a competitive player by the name of Ty. Very good Brian Fury player, pro player, travels around, bro streams and whatnot as well. To summarize what the video says very, very simply, King J went to a tournament in the Philippines. Ty was also sharing a room with him and two other people. Ty left the tournament early, went back to the room. He texted everyone, said, don't come to the hotel room, show up like an hour late. They did that. And then even after doing that, they had to wait at the hotel room for like 15 minutes, something like that. Ty didn't want to open the door. When he did open the door, he rushed them into separate rooms. He rushed King J into the bathroom. And then King J was thinking that there was some person in the room. Now, I did see a tweet from Ty where he was saying that it was his girlfriend who he had in the room, and it would make sense if it was his girlfriend why he would tell the person who room it was he's cock blocking. But I just don't understand where the confusion would come from with King J thinking it's like, he didn't say it, but he was basically kind of alluding to it to be like some kind of like sex worker. But when King J was trying to figure out what's going on, poking his head out of the bathroom and whatnot, this is what King J said, Ty said to him: if you do that again, I'll stab you. Now, that's a very serious thing, especially for King J and people in the UK. Stabbing is very prevalent there, and that's immediate fighting words. So this put King J in this tough situation to try to figure out what's going on. But with Ty, he kind of started fighting back against the allegations, right? Because you guys can see the tweet here from Mike Hollow. It basically summarizes what King J was saying. The tweet from Ty says, pretty annoying to even have to address this, considering I know that Jay has always been telling fake stories about me for years. There were multiple other people in the room when this supposedly happened, all of whom have no memory of me threatening to stab someone. I talked with multiple people after I learned Jay was telling people this lie, all of whom I talked to told me some version of, yeah, we figured that was fake. Jay just be saying stuff. We continued to room together for several days after this supposedly took place. Jay never said a word to me personally, and we continued to be friendly. Not really sure what the point is bringing fake story back after like 3 years or so, but yeah, I never threatened to stab anyone. And then also what I thought was really interesting is Twitter. Twitter turned against Mike Hollow and King J very harshly. Where YouTube was on their side, Twitter was not. You can see this one Twitter account here is just listing out all of the things that King J allegedly has done. You have another tweet here where it says, boy, screw you and him. So saying screw Mike and King J. Like there's just chaos all over the Tekken scene, the Tekken community. This is why I often say it's not really a community. It's just like kind of pockets, you know? These pockets don't really like each other. Me, I kind of like am in isolation. I kind of do my own thing. As of late, I have been interacting with Mike Hollow and King J a lot, and also like Poke Chop and Mike ATL, you know, the Atlanta scene and whatnot. Usually no one ever reaches out to me, and I kind of just sit and do my own thing. But you know, over the past like couple of months, people's been reaching out, and it's been really cool to collaborate with people. But you do have this darker side where a lot of people really hate each other, really despise each other, and this hatred, you know, goes beyond just the game. Like I seen people saying King J and Ty should do a 1st to 10, and I know these two guys are not in that mindset. I know players love to see the beef. You know, beef is kind of like the theme right now. You know, you kind of think Joe Budden showed up in a major way, and he really brought that energy, that villain mentality. I mean, Doctor Doom, he plays Doctor Doom and he embodies it, and that chaos is spread. And I like Joe Budden. I like all of these guys. I think all of these guys are just doing what they think is right, but you just have so many different personalities and they're spread so far across the world, and you can't really have a sit down and come to terms. And I don't know what's going to happen next, you know, from my situation with D to this to that, the developers bouncing, it's very chaotic.